What got into it, and what should I do? I am confused. She is planning to cheat if this is cheating. The story: I met a lady 3 months ago via my buddy Alina, with whom I was partying throughout the summer. She is merely a friend of mine and the sister of one of my closest buddies. The girl I met is 10 years my junior. I am 32 years old. We got along well, and things moved quickly between us, since we spent the most of our time together. She is a student in my nation's capital, where I previously lived for 6 years, and I just, without before her, chose to return there after 6 years in a distant country. So it was just coincidental that we had planned to visit there, separately in the beginning. She had planned to date a girl from her hometown, but things didn't work out and she decided to leave. I was already there to visit her at the time, having rented an Airbnb. I still had some work to accomplish in my hometown, so I wasn't quite ready to relocate. However, since my friend Alina and her sister were also searching for a place to live, we agreed to seek for an apartment together and move in together. My girlfriend and I were preparing to move into a single room as a pair. We both knew it was a little early, so we decided to take it a little softer and slower and not seem like anything major was going on. I was okay with it, since I wasn't into the serious relationship things at the time. I mean being together like extremely formally, and she was also coming out of a relationship 5 months before we met, so we were both fine with it. We've had a fantastic time together since then, going out to parties, meals, at home and away, chatting a lot, laughing a lot, and generally having a good time. At the same time, we respect our personal time as well as the fact that we have separate lives and friends. But there was no commitment. She said at some point throughout the last month of living together that she is not ready for commitment. I never chose this issue since. I assumed we'd progress organically and wouldn't need an agreement or anything because we're a couple or in a serious relationship. I was having a lot of fun with her, and I could see she was getting a lot into me as well. They were being sweet and friendly to one another, chatting nicely and being personal all the time. I cuddled myself to sleep. I was simply thinking to myself, okay, this is happening and I like it. If you think I'm clinging, you're mistaken. I take care of myself, I work hard on my business and self-improvement, I meet with friends, and in general, I am a guy that females are interested in, and I am not putting her on a pedestal, even if I show her how much I like her. I'm in my macho frame, but I've recently noticed that something is amiss with her, and she's acting strangely. I asked Alina, my friend and roommate, if everything was okay with her, and she replied she feels our thing with my lady. I'm not sure if she's mine, but I'll call her that for the sake of simplicity is just transitory, and I should realize that and date other females. I asked my girl whether she does it with other guys, and she answered she probably does. That broke my heart. I was expecting my girl to have these emotional outbursts every now and then because of her bulimia nervosa. I know this is a serious issue, but she doesn't know I'm aware of her problem, and I just support her and don't want to talk to her about it because her entire family is already doing so. But I wasn't expecting her to actually go out there and meet other guys. So I went to talk about our relationship and see if we were on the same page. And she said she isn't ready for commitment, but she won't simply leap into someone's arms, and that she is here now, so I should rest. It was a quick talk. I never go too deep since I don't want to seem emotional. I was okay with giving her more time to see how things went, but since we share a bed and are intimate on a regular basis, I wasn't anticipating her to do anything wrong. There was no way. I can't believe that there's no evidence, so I simply ignored it and went about my business. One day, I was alone in our room, and she was having another one of her 1-hour showers. Because our desks are next to each other, I saw someone message her on Instagram, which piqued my interest, so I checked. It was a man about her age. She was conversing with who said they were going to play some type of game with a friend of theirs, something like Monopoly, while I was working at home. They were making arrangements to go shopping for snowboard boots together and other such stuff. I was astonished and searched through other MSGs. I know this is excessive, but I felt suspicious. And she was sending a MSG to my buddy Alina saying she is finally going to see him and she can't wait. I was very perplexed. I had no idea what my connection with her was and had no permission to go through her social media, so I couldn't challenge her about it. So I sat and waited. She stepped out of the shower as usual, looking at me strangely, but then she turned adorable and wonderful again and began kissing me. This thing kept going and going. She was receiving messages, and it seemed that it was nice for her. I looked him up on Instagram, simply to see who he was. A day later, she took my phone to show me an Instagram video and saw I was looking for the man. I frantically took out my phone and cleared the search history, but it was too late. She said, "I saw who you were looking for," and inquired as to how I knew his name. I informed her that she had received a message from him the day before and that I recalled the name and wanted to double-check it. I'd inquired who this was, and she claimed it was a buddy she hadn't seen in a long time. I apologized and said I shouldn't have done that, and she responded it was okay, as if it were nothing. However, a few days later, after the game she went to play, I saw she wasn't feeling well and inquired if everything was all right, to which she said, "Yes, everything is fine." The following day, she admits to seeing someone who crushed her heart a few months earlier. I embraced it manly and said, "Don't worry, it's all right. Everyone has gone through this before, and it's acceptable to get upset about it." I inquired whether she still had emotions for him, and she denied it, stating it was simply a passing phase. And 5 days ago, just before leaving on a one-week business trip for a firm I'm launching in Austria, I decided to log on to her Instagram account again, this time on purpose, to learn the truth about what I'm up to. She spoke about music again with the same person. I couldn't and didn't want to read everything, but they appeared to enjoy the discussion. So I decided to write down the passwords for her Instagram and if anything was going to happen, so I could be aware and not continue in a phony relationship. I could have simply moved out on, but I like her and believe we're having a good time together. And I chose to do something dumb like this and get traumatized while working on an urgent assignment because I was following her on Instagram. They proceeded and now they simply agreed to meet in the coming days, while she is speaking with me, giving me photographs of her and her cat, saying stuff "I miss you," and sending loves and hugs, which truly hurts since I wouldn't know anything if I just blindly believed her. I understand she is younger and may still be looking for new experiences, but why would you do this? I asked her many times if she wanted to end anything between us for various reasons and how she felt, and she replied no each time. I'm no longer in the country, and she's set to meet that guy. I'm at a loss on what to do. I have a guy who had his current girlfriend, young age again, a long time ago, and they were doing the same thing behind his back without him knowing, and they are ready to marry now, and I know her and she is a beautiful person, and they are really happy together. I'm at a loss on what to do. I don't want to catch her doing anything that will absolutely destroy everything between us, so ideally I want to avoid it and hope she will go back on course. Not sure if this is the correct thing for her anymore, and understands she should be more honest with me, if not simply stop it. But how can I do that when I am also a liar and stalker who has gained access to her profile? I have no legal right to do so, but I have deep emotions for her, and am at a loss for what to do right now. I'm absolutely dying from the inside out. Please assist. I'm looking for some guidance. Update. She was left alone in the apartment for 4 days, and they are planning a get-together for a celebration. I chose to travel back there tomorrow, since there will be severe limitations in the nation in a few days and I would be stuck.